Right, question number 10. It asks you to write a function called self-dividing numbers. It takes two numbers, and we're going to looking for all the self numbers from the left one to the right one. So, for example, if I'm giving you a self-dividing number 122, so we're gonna return the array that contains all the self-dividing numbers from 1 to 22. And the definition for a self-dividing number is if this number can be divided by every digit it contains, right? For example, 128. It can be divided by 1, it's divisible by 2, and it's divisible by 8. So that is a self-dividing number. Right, so we're going to check in from 1 to 22. Are there all self-dividing number? And for this example, we're going to check in from 12 to 21, how many self-dividing numbers are there, and return them in a list. Right? So let me just copy the function, the question here. And I'm going to write it down here. So the question number 10. Question number 10. Right, so we're gonna create a function called self-dividing numbers. That takes the left and the right. Right, so in the description. Alright, so so in this function we need to definitely we're going to do a loop here, right? We're going to check in all the numbers from left number to the right number. So we're going to have a lot of numbers to check here. Right? So we're going to have a loop, right, from left to right. We're going to check in from left to right how many, we're going to check out each number inside there and see which one is self-dividing number. Right? Loop from left to right, right? And then so let's firstly loop it. So it's gonna for loop, right? Variable I start with left, right? Start with the left. Left is smaller, right is bigger, and so when I is getting smaller or equals to right, we want to continue this loop. And I plus plus, right? This is loop from left to right. Right, start with the left number until the right number. And then what do we need to do inside the loop? Right. So we basically need to check if current number is self-dividing number. Right. If this number, if a number is self-dividing number, we're gonna push that into a list. If not, we can just skip it. And finally, we're just returning the list out. Right? So we are going to have variable have a what I call it a solution, right? Solution which is empty array. And if a number is self-dividing number, and then we just solution the push this number, right? Number gonna be the I, right? So if I is self-dividing number, we'll push that to a solution. Otherwise, we just skip it. Right? After the whole loop, we can return the solution, which is going to be our answer. And now we just need to worry about how to check if I is a self-dividing number. Alright, so according to the description, it says a self-dividing number needs to be divisible by all digits it has. So we basically need to use the number to divide it by every digit it has. Alright, so if it's 128, we're going to use the number divided by 1, divided by 2, and divided by 8. Right, so we're going to first split it into single digit and using the 128 to divide by it. Right. So to make the code more readable, make it clean, I'm gonna suggest you to create a helper function, another function to checking if a number is divided number. Right, so we're gonna create another helper function here because there's gonna be still a lot of things to check. We don't want to mix them together to make the code unreadable. So we're gonna call it check self-dividing. You can call it any name you like. It takes a num and checking if the num is self-dividing. Right, we're gonna have some description here. So helper function to check if the num is self-dividing. Alright, we're checking if the num is self-dividing. Right, so inside here we're going to firstly, so imagine the number is like 128. We need to split that into 1, 2, and 8, and use 128 to divide by it. So to do it, we're going to make that into an array of 1, 2, and 8. Right, so we're gonna firstly change it into a string and using split to split it into an array of single digits. Because we can only use split on string. If it's a number, we cannot do it. So we're gonna firstly change that to a number. So we're gonna say variable num string, change it into string format, which is going to be the num to string. I think it's going to change it to a string number. Let me just try it out here. So if I have a 123 to string, no, it's not going to work. To string, no. How do I change number into string in JavaScript? Let me double check it. Change number into string JavaScript. I can just plus a string on it. Or I think a toString should work. Try it again. 123 toString. Oh, I need to call it on the variable. Yeah, I think it works. I can just use it into string here. Yeah, it should work. I'm gonna change a num into a string, so 123 string, and then so this is and some comments. Change number into string format, and split string into array of character, array of char. So it's going to be variable num array is equal to num string dot split with empty string here, right? So how does that work? Is firstly we change the 123 into string 123, and then we call a dot split on it, split with an empty string, so it's going to be 1, 2, and 3. Right, array of 3 digits. And now I can using the original number to divide on each of them, see if that's divisible by these numbers. Right, so now I have array, we can follow by it. For variable I equals to 0, I smaller than, we're gonna have a length, right? We're gonna have a new length. So variable length equal to num array dot length. When I is smaller than length, I plus plus, right? Loop through the array. If the num array ith item, actually not the ith item, should be if the num modular the num array's ith item, Remember, the number with item that is a string, when you change it back to the number, so it's gonna be parse int, the whole thing back to a number. Right? If that divided modulo that number equal to 0, that means that can be divided by can be divisible by the digits. So we're gonna use not here. If the num modular that digit doesn't equal to 0, we're gonna directly return a false here, and we're gonna stop the function. Right, so the return a stop function because there's a if there's adding one digit cannot be divided by that, it's not a self-dividing number, so we can know this is false. And else, so after the for loop, it's just gonna return a true here. So if none of these if cases matches, it's gonna skip it for all the if cases. It won't return false, and finally gonna return true. Right, so if any digit can be divisible, yeah. If num is not divisible by any digit, right, it's going to return the false. And if num is divisible by all digits, right, it's going to return the true. Remember here we are using the feature of a return. It's going to stop the function. In any case we get into this if case, it's going to call return here, which can stop the function. Alright, so now we have a function returns us either true or false, checking if the num is self-dividing. So we can put this function inside here, right? So we can call if check self-dividing I, checking I if self-dividing. If that's true, we push that to the solution, otherwise skip it. Right. So this can be a nested loop, but to make it simple, we just add it inside, make it another function on it, and just call the function inside here, by making it more readable. Right, so we'll loop from the left number to the right number and do some checks for each one of them. And what we're going to check is to check if that is a self-dividing number. Scroll back in the room. Yep. Alright, so we're going to go to the next one. Alright, so next one, and next two questions are actually much easier than this one. So I'm going to take a look at the next one. Number 11. It's called move zeros. So it takes an array of numbers and move all the zeros to the end of it. Alright, so if I have a move 0, an array 0, 1, 0, 3, 12, it's going to keep the order 1, 3, 12 and move the zeros in the middle to the end. Right? For all the zeros, we're going to move that to the end. Right, so then let's start. Let's see how we do it in this function. Oops. Question number 11. Alright, so same thing. We're going to create a function. Move zeros. Check the nums. Nums is array. Right, nums is array. And move all zeros to the end. So for this one, we definitely need to do a loop, right? We're gonna need a loop from the just through the whole array, right? Like it goes through the first one to the last element inside the array. Right, I'm gonna go loop from the first one to the last one. And for each number inside the move zeros, inside the nums, we're gonna check if that is 0. Right, so let's first do a loop. Variable I, it's the same thing, right? Let me just first get in length before we loop it. So variable length is equal to nums the length. So for variable I equals to 0, I smaller than length, I plus plus, right? You can also using for each or map to do this one, and we're gonna using just for loop. Right, for each you can do the same thing. For each number inside nums, we're definitely want checking if the nums ith item is equal to 0, right? We can compare that with 0. If that is 0, we want to move that to the end. Otherwise, we want to do something else. Right. So if we directly move the item into the like change the order of the items, it's sometimes going to cause some issues. Like for example, here we have a move 0, 0, 1, 0, 3 here. If we just directly move the 0 to the end, and next time when we do the loop, we may somehow skip the second one, or maybe skip some numbers here, because and it's getting into some kind of like an infinite loop, because it's keeping any number to the end. We're going to basically just running this forever, or somehow like mix up the index. So the better way is create a new arrays here. Again, we're going to have a solution array which is empty. Right. So if a num is not equal to 0, we can directly push that to the solution. I push the nums I into a solution. I push this nums I into solution. So now we have an array of numbers without 0. If that's not 0, we just directly push that to the solution. If that is 0, we're going to add it to the end of this array, right? So we can count how many zeros we have here. So let's create a counter. Start with 0. I create the counter start with 0. If numbers I equal to 0, we're adding 1 to the counter. Right? So if the number is 0, we don't push it to the array, but we're adding 1 to the counter. If the number is not 0, just directly push that to the solution array. Right? And after the for loop, we have array of numbers without 0. Then it's adding zeros. Right? Then we're adding zeros. So in the counter, we know how many zeros we have, so we can have a while loop. While the counter is bigger than 0, we just keep pushing zeros to the solution. So solution dot push 0 and counter minus minus. I keep minus the counter, and when counter is 2, we push 2 0. Counter is 3, we push 3 zeros. Counter is 5, push 5 zeros. Right? And last, let's return the solution, which is going to be our final answer. Alright, so this is move zeros. We just count how many zeros we have, just add it to the end. And we're going to go to the last question. Right. Create an average numbers, average function that calculates the average of an array of numbers. Right, calculate the array of numbers. Right, so let's just go ahead and do that. So function average takes a numbers array and calculates the the average of an array of numbers. So this is quite easy. We just need to know the sum of the numbers and divided by the length of it. Right. So sum divided by length. Right. So we firstly get the sum. So again, we're gonna have variable solution. Remember the simple even adding we did? We're adding all the even numbers up. This time we're just adding all the numbers. We don't even care if that is even or odd. So we're gonna have a for loop. Variable again, we just loop through the whole array, so it's gonna be length. Variable length equal to nums dot length. For variable I equal to 0, I smaller than length, I plus plus. Right, we're doing this. Well, I've done this many times. Loop through array. Right, then we do just we just call it sum. Right, it makes more sense. Don't call it solution. Just call it sum. So the sum plus the nums ith item. Right, so that's how we're getting the sum of it. We just keep adding the nums ith item into the sum. It's the same thing when we do a simple even adding. If we check the question above. And then it's gonna easy, just sum divided by the length. Just return it out, which is the answer. Right, that is the answer. Right, so that's all the questions for the assignment. Right, that's all the questions for the assignment. So once you finish that, you can go to the GitHub. And we're gonna create a new repository this time. I'll create a new one and push your assignment. Right, create a new one and push your assignment inside it. And you don't have to drop a release because we're not gonna continue working on the second version of this one. So just for you to practice. So just create a new repository and push the assignment into it. Right, you can call it either call it assignment 2 or call it JavaScript practice or JavaScript problems. And we're gonna go into your GitHub looking for that. Right. And that's it for this assignment. And today you can keep working on the DOM and events part. Right. Try to finish this lesson today. And tomorrow we're gonna went through that together to try some small projects using the ways they mentioned here. Right, to using the JavaScript they mentioned here to do the project. I'm gonna have getting some hands-on experience on how to using the JavaScript inside the web development. Right now we just learn the language, and then we're gonna learn how to combine them. Right, start from tomorrow. Right, so